26 knots down the Eagle. 106 interval is a Rhino at 5. Good. 207 on flat path on course 1 mile. Good. 207 on flat path on.
In the autumn of 2007, the Danish Army deployed a battalion-sized battle group to Helmand province in southern Afghanistan. Comprising of around 700 personnel and under the command of the British-led Task Force Helmand, the Danish battle group assumed security responsibility for the Nari-Sharaj district in the centre of the province. Throughout the Helmand campaign, Nari-Sharaj district was one of the most important regions in the province, as not only did it contain the large town of Jureshk, but it also linked the coalition bases of Camp Bastion and Camp Levenek, with the northern areas of Sangin, Musakala and the Kajaki Dam. As such, despite being one of the smaller nations that contributed troops in Afghanistan, Denmark took on a significant but difficult task in Helmand, and it's no surprise that over the next few years, the Danish forces gained a reputation for consistently punching above their weight, with an article published by the US Army War College noting that, given the size of the country, Denmark's contribution grew to considerable proportions, especially from 2008 to 2012. Denmark did not shy away from walking the talk, as it deployed and sustained a military contribution beyond the capacity of most other similar states. 2.5 years after its formation, in February 2010, the Danish battle group carried out its 5th troop rotation in theatre, with the mechanised infantry of the 1st Battalion, the Royal Life Guards, taken over from the reconnaissance troops of the 3rd Battalion, the Guard Hussar Regiment. On its arrival in Helmand, the 1st Royal Life Guards established itself across Nari-Sharaj district, with its headquarters at FOB Price and troop detachments scattered throughout the region occupying outposts. Among these outposts was Patrol Base Rahim, which on the 19th of February formed the staging points for a large-scale Danish patrol to the River Helmand. Starting out early that day, the 40-man strong patrol headed east, successfully crossed the river without incident, and reached the outskirts of a small Afghan village, where the decision was made to hold the patrol in its position, whilst 2 men were sent forward to scout out the area. The 2 men selected for this task were Sergeant Casper Mathiesen and minesweeper Mathiesen Borlum, both of whom moved up into the village itself and were almost immediately ambushed by a Taliban force, who opened fire on the 2 Danish soldiers from 5 different positions. Sergeant Casper Mathiesen later recalled, "We are walking on a path along a wall when my comrade in front of me, Mathiesen Borlum, is hit in the shoulder and both legs. I see that he slowly lies down on his back. He shouts that he's been hit, and I shout that I'm well aware of it. The enemy then shoot again, and there are projectiles and pop-ups on the wall in front of and behind us." Within seconds of his colleague going down, Sergeant Mathiesen instinctively, and with complete disregard for his own safety, stepped forward, got down into a prone position in front of Borlum and began returning fire, thereby acting as a human shield for his wounded colleague and also drawing the attention of the Taliban insurgents onto himself. Remarkably, despite the intensity of the enemy fire, Sergeant Mathiesen wasn't hit throughout the engagement, and not only did he continue to fire in this manner for several minutes, but he also held the enemy at bay until reinforcements arrived from the rest of the patrol, including paramedic Jesper Christensen, who courageously ran through the hail of gunfire and reached the sergeant's position, from where he was able to provide temporary first aid to stabilise Borlum's wounds. Thereafter, and with his ammunition expended, Sergeant Casper Mathiesen, alongside Jesper Christensen, proceeded to drag Mathiesen Borlum out of the danger zone and to the position held by the rest of the patrol, at which point 2 American Black Hawk helicopters appeared overhead to evacuate the Danish soldiers out from the area. For his actions on the 19th of February 2010, Sergeant Casper Mathiesen will be recognised with the Cross of Valour, Denmark's highest military decoration. At the time of making this video, he is the only recipient of this award, which was established in November of 2011. Reflecting on the extraordinary actions Sergeant Mathiesen displayed that day, General Knud Bartels, the Chief of Defence for the Danish Armed Forces, stated that, "Sergeant Casper Mathiesen is an example for all of us who wear the uniform, from the youngest to the oldest, and from the lowest to the highest rank. We can only be proud that there are soldiers who possess as much courage and bravery as is the case with Sergeant Mathiesen. His effort goes far beyond what can be expected from a soldier in battle."